Hi, good evening. Very good evening to all of you. So this is our first session after the after the SBI PO mains debacle, if I can call it that. Fine. So there's a reason why I did not choose to do this 2 days 3 days back, and we are doing it now. The Just give me a moment. Just a moment. All right, so I'm back. There was some noise issue. Fine. So I was saying that this was a deliberate decision because I mean, with the kind of negativity floating around, I actually do not want to have a word with you on this. So now, since the dust is settled, all of you have realized that it's gone. So I thought probably it's time to talk about the way forward. Look at what is written on the screen. You have already always heard about that. Life gives you lemons, make lemonade. अगर आपने समझा होता उसको ठीक से, had you ever took it seriously, this would not have troubled you to the extent it did. ठीक है, probably the paper was a bit difficult, but if it was difficult, it was difficult for everybody. I'm not here to do an autopsy on what happened. I'll just talk a bit about it, and the way forward, but we are not doing a very thorough analysis of anything of that. Fine, but the thought would remain the same. It was nothing unexpected. Fine, it was not something that you can say was unfair or anything. As many people said, they want PhDs. People said stuff like Sherlock Holmes chahiye. Somebody wanted a Shakespeare. Somebody wanted a Ramanujam. I mean, I don't know what all people wanted from that. So there was nothing like that. It was a difficult paper, and if you ask me, there were 5 sections, as I told you earlier. There were 5 tests. One test that actually baffled a lot of you was the data interpretation test. Fine. Apart from it, descriptive I'll say was easier because it was predictable. In fact, there was an essay topic which is very, very similar to what we had discussed. In fact, you could have used the quote also straight away. I'm not saying I predicted it or anything, just good luck for you. GK was easier. Reasoning was almost the same. English last year was unpredictable. This year also it was like quite unpredictable. So nothing special. The thing that changed was in last year's DI, had you been prepared, you could have scored a 50-55. This year, probably a 30-35. But the problem was that since you were not prepared for it, I heard stories of people like crying, breaking down there at the exam center. I seriously don't know. Probably one of the reasons was that when you actually came to DI, it was the 4th section, and I discussed that on the eve of the exam as well, that it can be any section, any order, so don't predict it. So it was 2 hours 15 minutes when you actually went into DI that day. You were tired, you saw a lot of questions that were different, and you got bogged down. So probably this can be one of the reasons that you actually found it very disturbing. Cutoffs would definitely go down. Believe me, had it been a similar paper as last year, it would be probably around 100. I don't think it would be different this year. Just a minute. Okay, some of you are talking about the volume, so I changed the battery of that microphone, so probably it would be slightly better now. Fine. So I was talking about that it was not much different from what we expected. I mean, if you were expecting a similar paper, then your expectation was not right. You go back to day 11 when we started arithmetic. I told you on the very first day that this is going to help you in mains. If you still did not prepare, we cannot do anything. I got a call on the exam day. I'm just telling a real story to you of a student who said, I could not do anything in DI because I did not do arithmetic at all. So what was that then? Wishful thinking. I mean, you kind of assuming that they'll give you series and input-output questions in the data interpretation section of mains exam. This was never going to happen. So I'm disappointed in that sense that we could almost predict it. I mean, it's going to be difficult. I did that 4 sessions on data interpretation and puzzles, new type. What was the kind of feedback that we got? This is unrealistically tough. आप लोग कुछ भी कराए जा रहे हो मुश्किल के नाम पे. This is never going to happen. This would not come in 2025. Stuff like that. I seriously, I'm admitting it. I got demotivated. I planned to do 4-5 sessions of DI on various topics. I did not do it because the idea was not to demoralize you. I mean, okay, that's a lesson then. But I seriously still don't think that there were any demons in the paper. It keeps happening. I mean, SBI or IBPS, of that matter, any other paper, these papers are not the same papers that they used to be 3 years back. So they are now not predictable. And if you ask me, you talk about me giving cat analogies. It's a difficult paper than cat now. The reason is simple. There are certain question types that would not come in cat for sure. For example, series and input, output and coding, decoding, they never come in cat. They can come in all these papers. Plus, whatever else comes in cat, appears in cat or can appear in cat, can appear in these papers. Now though I'm like 100% sure there is absolutely nothing that cannot come. So if somebody is asking me about IBPS, we'll talk about it in great detail later. It can be anything. Seriously, it can be, if you ask me, all what has appeared in CAT in the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I don't see a section that cannot appear. Data interpretation can appear, puzzles, numerical puzzles can appear, English, any question type can appear, quantitative aptitude, it's there. The only thing that cannot appear, or I think could not appear, was algebra and geometry, some part of it, fine. So it has again been there. I mean, geometry mensuration, they again kind of worked on it and gave some bit of it. Some people were complaining about mensuration being there. Was it not there last year? I mean, they just increased the proportion of that in the mains paper. That is it. I mean, iske alawa there was absolutely nothing in it that changed there. Fine. So I mean, I don't find anything that was surprising in the paper. And believe me, I know a lot of people who are actually getting 100 now. I mean, in this paper that you're calling difficult, they're actually getting 100. If you ask me about the cutoffs, kitna hoga, kitna nahi hoga, I would not want to make a prediction here. I have not seen the paper, but still I would say I don't see it going beyond around 60. I mean, looking at the overall reaction of the people and the way IBPS was and the way last year's cutoff was in SBI, I think around 60, should be around 60, probably plus minus 5, nothing more than that. So all of you who are who think they can get a score in this range, fine, should actually start forward, should actually start looking towards the group discussion and interview. And who think you have like messed it up completely, start targeting IBPS now. I mean, that's the next big one for you. So start looking forward to IBPS and leave this behind. I mean, there is absolutely no use of discussing it now. I gave you a number because you wanted it. What do we feel? We feel 60, and this is, the disclaimer would be that this is like completely based on what we have heard from students and our research on different portals and everything and the question types. Fine. A question that I keep facing is, ये नए वाले questions का क्या होगा? I seriously don't know. If you ask me what to do for IBPS or something, I'll just say I cannot, I still cannot zero in on a good source that says that this is a good question bank for IBPS. No, it does not exist still. In fact, people did not do a good job when it came to making the SBI question banks and mocks as well. They did not do enough experimentation with that, and that's why you probably paid the price for this. When it comes to the next exam, the IBPS, I'll suggest once again, go through all the CAT papers. Go through all the CAT papers. Anything from there can come. Probably the portions that you can skip would be something like, how do I say it? Set theory probably आप छोड़ सकते हो, but even that can come. Algebra probably not up to that level. Geometry, mensuration, it's already there. Arithmetic is there. So I mean, what do I tell you? What to leave there? Probability still comes. So everything is there. Probably some bit of algebra you can leave there, but apart from it, that will be a good source to practice. You can pick CAT guides, start from there till the time somebody actually decides to work on it and come up with a good guide that can get you started for IBPS. Okay, I'll talk about it a bit more about it. Let me just this is the theme. We are not sulking anymore. We are not cribbing. We are not crying. That is over. Fine. That is definitely over. We should rejoice. It's over. Khadam ho gaya. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. If you are the one who made mistakes in this paper, fix them up, look forward to the next one. Every mistake actually gives you a lesson, so that's the theme. Now my objective of doing this session is I wanted to talk about two things basically, apart from taking your questions, about two kinds of people basically. One who think they still have a realistic chance of making the cut and going to the next stage, and believe me, more of you have got a chance of actually making it than you think. I mean, a lot of you would be like very pessimistic, very negative. You still can make it. Believe in yourself. हो सकता है आप लोग को लग रहा है आपने ज़्यादा खराब किया, सबने खराब किया, paper was difficult, fine, look at it that way, fine. So a plan would be for those people who think that they can get a call, and another one for those who cannot, who think you have like absolutely messed it up and there is absolutely no chance, fine. So I'll talk about them first, who think that they can get a call, who think they can actually go to the next stage. The result would be out on 19th. This is what this is 7th today, yes, so it's still some good 12 days away. My advice is again simple, the way I advised in prelims. Don't wait for these 12 days now for the result. Even if it doesn't happen, just think about it. If it doesn't happen, it's going to help you in IBPS, it's going to help you in some other exam, it's going to help you in life in general. Don't waste these 12 days, it's going to be difficult. There are things for which you will need time, fine, and you just cannot do them in 4 days. Start working on it. If you look at this session, in the session description there is a playlist, the link to which is given there. There are just 6 videos, 2 concept sessions and 4 mock interviews, dummy mock interviews, if I can call it that. Fine, go through them, you will get a lot of idea of what needs to be worked upon when you actually prepare for an interview. It's not light work. Apart from doing your general awareness and everything, you actually will need to work upon yourself as well, and it takes time. So go through that playlist. We'll be doing probably a 4, 5, 7 sessions on this, on interview and group discussion and all, but the involvement would be limited in the sense that this is not something that I can do virtually with you, fine. So that's one reason that will be slightly limited, but whatever we can do, we'll still keep doing for you, all the stuff, I mean everything. So for interview it's already there. For group exercise we'll create something and do it, fine. So but my advice is start on that playlist right now, right away. Go there, start doing it. It's not going to harm you. Anything else, if there is any other query or anything else, you can always write to us regarding that. So that's there. I'll give you time to ask questions as well. The second group of people would be those people who think they cannot do it. They cannot do it, and the target now is IBPS. Fine, so that's the second group. Some people said SSC as well. Fine, SSC के लिए देखो मेरा एक बहुत छोटा सा advice है, very simple advice. Don't do SSC if you think you are doing it because you are exploring your options, something like that. You can think about it, but it should not be a knee-jerk reaction. You getting it? Mains खराब हो गया, I'm doing SSC now. No, don't do it. If you actually think that this is the kind of job that you are looking at, it's very different. I'm not saying this is bad, that is good. If you're looking at it otherwise as well, then look at it. Probably don't do it because your mains went bad. No, that's not the logic. So think about it. Fine. The primary one for you, I still believe, would be IBPS for all the ones who are serious for banking, and it's a good 4 months away. So that's a lot of time. And for mains, it'll be like 5.5 months. Aram se ho jayega. Now, how can we help you with that? All what we have done for SBI, there'll be like 75-80 sessions. All of them are meaningful for SBI as well, for IBPS as well. The syllabus is hardly different. We did all the types. So apart from these videos, the only thing I'm reiterating, the only thing that you would need would be a good question bank. Fine. So that question bank, I mean, you keep asking me what books. I keep saying question banks. The reason why I'm saying question banks is that the only important thing in those books would be the questions, not the solutions. Most of these books don't offer you the optimal solutions. That's the reason why I keep saying question banks. Pick any good question bank, get started. Pick any book, I don't have a problem. Any book, fine. So I still am fine to, I'm yet to find a great book written for these exams. I mean, it just doesn't exist. All of them are the same. You can pick any. The focus should be on questions. So if you're, let's say, doing a percentage session, after that the idea is to do everything in percentage when it comes to questions, and that's how you get started. Is it enough? That's another question that we face. Yes, it's enough. If you ask me if you're willing to work hard, you don't need anything else for clearing IBPS. These videos should be sufficient. We're not removing them. They would be there till IBPS. Okay, I can promise that. I mean, not going to remove them unless there's some other problem. They will be there. You can, and we'll probably build upon them. Not now. I'm not promising anything, but probably yes. So for your basics, for everything, it's there. Apart from that, just pick a question and start from scratch, from day one. Go to day one, look at what all tips we gave about how to start the studies. It's time to implement it. I mean, it's a good 4, 5, 6 months for that. You can do that now. Fine. So start from there. Another question, are we going to do a program on this? We might do a program on this. In fact, good chance that we'll do a program on this, but we're not doing anything on this for the next 2 months. The reason is simple. We are already doing a closed group program for CGL. We don't want to shift our focus. We cannot do justice for everything with everything like that. So if we do a program, and there's a 50% chance I'll do a program on this, maybe a 75% chance, it'll happen in August. And that's for all of you who wanted to know what our plan about IBPS is. It'll happen in August, early August, and we would announce the program in July if it happens like that. But having said that, I'm still saying what we did for SBI is enough for you to clear IBPS. That would be for a higher level engagement, I mean, problem solving and pushing the marks and all. That's the agenda. Now, if you've got any question on that, you can ask me. Any question on preparation or any other thing, you can just ask me. I'll just move this forward and go to this questions type. I'm just going to read your comments now. If there is anything that's there on your mind, please ask me now. Okay, let me just read them very quickly. Okay, it's all the usual ones that are there. Let me just go through it quickly. If you've got anything else to ask, type it now. Okay, somebody is asking about sectional cutoffs. Because sectional cutoffs, again, it's very difficult to predict. The way I look at it, GS would be around the same. I don't think quantitative aptitude is going to cross 7 or 8 marks. Definitely not. Which other section had a problem? English again between 5 and 10, and reasoning would be all between 5 and 10. GS between 10 and 15. That's what we expect. Where do we get CAT papers? Buy a book from the market. There are so many guides for that. Can we do Arun Sharma CAT book for maths preparation? Yes. Just select the topics. Don't get into the algebra part of it. I mean, that's still one thing that's I don't think is going to appear here. Okay. Let me just. Okay, this is it. I mean, I went through your this thing. So it's simple. Videos for the concepts and then the question banks. That's what we suggest for this. Buy any book. Buy a Nishit Sinha. Buy a Arun Sharma. Mostly the question banks would be the same. Fine. Look for optimal solutions. You can look at the solutions that's given there, but try looking for your solutions for them. One important advice for you, since you've got a lot of time left now, make notes. Make notes means I'm again repeating some things that I've already said before. Make notes means, for example, if you let's say you're doing 100 questions in percentage. So the moment you come across a question that you could not do in the first attempt, listen to me carefully here, just mark it, bookmark it if you're doing it online, or just mark it on your book. That comes in handy when you are actually revising the stuff. Fine. So you work on that like that, and then you take notes in the sense that if you think that you got a better solution to that same problem than what is given in the book, just take note of that solution in your notebook. So what will happen is that let's say you do 250 questions of percentage now. At the time of the exam, you will not be in a position to do all those 250 questions. So you will be doing just those 10 or 15 questions from your arithmetic module or from your percentage module that you star marked. Are you getting it? Does it make sense? If it does, start following it religiously. Practice again remains the key. Some people thought that watching the videos would do. No, watching the videos would not do. If you're watching the video for 2 hours, probably for every 2 hours you need 10 hours to put into this, and then you can probably hope of making it. As far as predicting the IBPS paper is concerned, I would hate to do it. I would not want to predict it. The only thing that I can see happening is that SBI and IBPS are in some kind of a race to make it more and more difficult. I don't know. SBI last year was difficult. IBPS went up a notch higher in the sense that English was like out of this world. And then you look at SBI now. So if I apply mathematical induction there, so I mean who knows what's going to happen, but the chances are it's going to be a difficult paper. I don't know, but it should not bog you down. जब मैं आपको वो swagger की बात नहीं करता था, when I used to talk about Virender Sehwag and Vivian Richards and all, I never told you to leave it outside the examination hall. कि मैं सेंटर तक तो एकदम स्वैग के साथ गया था, वहाँ जाके अंदर मैंने छोड़ दिया. सहवाग ने कभी ऐसा किया है दैट शोएब अख्तर इज रनिंग हार्ड एट से कि बैठ गया पिच पे, आई कैन नॉट डू इट, बहुत तेज फेंक रहा है. थिंक अबाउट इट गाइस, यही कराना आप में से बहुत लोगों ने, रोने लग गए यार. मतलब अरे यार, मतलब आई जस्ट गेट सरप्राइज्ड. एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में आप रोने लग जाओगे तो कैसे चलेगा यार? कैसे? मीन वट एवर इट वॉज दैट 45 मिनट्स हैड टू बी फेस्ड. अगर आप उसमें 15 मार्क्स ले आते ना, यू वुड हैव क्लियर्ड इट. कट ऑफ तो वुड बी लाइक 6 or 7 marks. It doesn't work like this. I mean, I told you so many times. You look at our videos and look at the comments that we have given. People said to us, "कितना आएगा, क्या आएगा?" I always said it's very, very dangerous to predict the paper. You are again doing that same thing. You are trying to predict what's going to come in IBPS. Don't do that. Just give it your best. Look at the indicators. The indicators say it can be anything. I mean, the way I look at it now, had I been an aspirant, I would have prepared for everything. Look at what can come, and believe me, anything that has come in CAT in the last 10-15 years, apart from algebra probably, that's the only topic can come in the paper. Prepare hard for it. Apart from that, the usual suspects, I mean the easier ones, I'll say number series, coding, decoding, all the types, pattern matching types that are typical of all these exams, they are to be done. Prelims should not be again too much of a problem the way I look at it, but you'll have to score in mains. To score in mains, again, DI arithmetic, I'll stick to it, remain the scoring areas. If it's difficult, you'll at least have an edge over others. If it's easy, if it's something that you think it's not very difficult, then probably it can become your scoring area. So that remains my advice for this. There is nothing else that I want to say today. If you've got something else to ask, you can do that. You can address that now. How do Yashwant, you don't have to take CAT coaching for IBPS. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. Do it from that same stuff you are doing. You asked me what is the source of doing all these things, so that's the answer for that. The source can be CAT papers. If you don't find a good question bank that can give you new question types, do that. अच्छा, एक और चीज़ है इसमें ना, इसको गलत मत समझो. When you are telling me that it's applied arithmetic in DI, yes it was. It's not as if that same question is going to appear again in IBPS or SBI next year. You have to start thinking. I always tell you, don't predict the paper, start thinking, start applying yourselves. So whenever it's a new question type next time in the paper, you're not stumped. That is it. I mean, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं करना है. Okay, let me just read it. For GA, if I prepared only by Adda and grade up, is that okay? Yes, it's okay. I think the material for GA is good over there. You can prepare through that. My only advice would be, don't give it too much time. So you should not be like 6 hours daily for GA. 2 घंटे रोज करोगे, it should be okay. English preparation, again, many of you asked. This is true for both. Listen to it carefully. If you are talking about PDP, so you are basically concerned about how you speak. One advice for you, it's still 7th of June, so it's still a good 1 month away. One advice for you would be, start watching English news channels. I am being very, very categorical here. Start watching English news channels. It helps. So if you are a fan of Mr. Goswami, you can probably go to Republic or to somebody else. If you are not, fine, I don't care, all of them are good. But start watching them. 2 things would happen. One, in those debates and everything, your general knowledge would improve. You would know how to deal with it in a group discussion, even in a personal interview. 2, you would know how to speak well. Fine, that modulation and everything that comes. Another advice, another tip for you, another piece of advice, start speaking amongst yourselves in English. Fine, it helps. So if you've got a study group of 5-7 people, just make it religious. I mean, nobody speaks in Hindi or Bengali or Tamil for that matter, at least in this next 1 month. It improves drastically. I mean, you can see the difference in a week's time. Fine, so do it. That's important. That is for the PDP, for the personality assessment stage. If you were asking me about English for IBPS, my advice again remains the same. Samir and I have been saying that same thing again and again. It has to be reading and nothing else. I mean, if you want to improve your English in general, it has to be a lot of reading. It's a lot of time left. Read for 2 hours daily. Read for 2 hours daily. This is the time for contextual vocabulary. Mark those words that you do not understand. Look for them in this wonderful website called vocabulary.com. Bookmark them there. Make playlists. Ask them to play those words for you. So they actually throw tests at you using those words that you said I want to learn. So use those words that are used in contemporary English. There are two things. If you are preparing for SSC, you will need to mug up a word list. There is no choice. It's like so vocab heavy. Bank is not like that. Bank would be more comprehension and less vocabulary. Having said that, if your vocabulary is good, then comprehension also goes down on goes up by a few notches. That's there. But vocabulary for bank needs to be prepared in a different manner from SSC. Fine, SSC can be done by brute force. After 2 months, it's my exam. I do 2,000 new words. 5 months, it's the mains. I do 5,000 new words. That will not work for bank, or that's not required for bank. For bank, do it contextually. Do a Norman Lewis. We told you so many times. It's a wonderful book. Fine. So do it gradually. A chapter probably in every 3 days. After that, editorials of good newspapers. You can use a Hindu. You can use a Indian Express. Whatever works for you. Mark those words. How you can gauge your improvement would be, let's say you take a Hindu editorial today. If you think that you have on an average 2 words that you don't know in that whole editorial page, it should come down to probably 0 or 1 in the next 2 months. Then you're improving. And believe me, when you talk about contemporary English, the words keep repeating themselves. Fine. So if you are actually looking for words and putting them on your notebook or something and working on them, it's going to improve. That's going to help. Another reason why I insist on this is that if you realized all these articles and everything that you pick, all for RC and everything, they are picked from these newspapers only. Hindu ho gaya, Indian Express ho gaya, even the international ones like magazines ho sakti hain, it can be The Economist and all. So if you read from good sources, there's a good chance that you learn those words that are relevant for these exams. Are you getting it? So that's the reason why I keep insisting on it. Use those now. It is the time to build your English now. Had it been like 15 days for the exam, I would not have suggested this. But when it's like a good 5-6 months left for the exam, build your English like this. Start speaking with your peers in English. Start reading a lot of stuff, diversified stuff. I'll go to the extent of saying that read stuff that you don't like reading. Fine. So I like reading about sports. So that's not going to help me. I can still read it very fast. If I don't like a subject, I don't like biology. So probably reading something about medical science is going to help me. That way, if you don't like economics, then you can probably enhance your skills reading economics. So read stuff that you don't like reading. Probably read a book on philosophy as well. If not anything else, read that small column in philosophy that comes in the newspapers. So that's going to help you get slightly more comfortable with that kind of reading. So that's the meaning of reading. If there is anything else that you want me to ask, go shoot now. Books names. Which books names? Normal Lewis is over. You can go to All About Words now, or that would be it. The next one should be. It's a difficult one now. Rajya Sabha TV. Yes, you can watch that. You can watch that. Question. Okay, again a question related to the exam. You wrote an essay of 300 words. What do I say now? I just hope that they don't penalize you for it, but there's a chance that they may, because I think it was written as 150 words there. So, let's just hope for the best. Many people did not write the number of essay there. Probably it can create some problems. Just hope for the best. Don't think about it now. Don't think about it now. So, no audio, is it? No, has to be fine. It's there. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yash says Economist is very tough. Yash, I understand. Look, I'll not say it's tough. It is different. Fine. But the problem is that do you want to face that different kind of stuff in an exam, or do you want to do it while reading, while practicing? So that's the reason why I keep saying do it now, rather than just waiting for the exam to stump you on that kind of reading. Do it now. Your choice then finally, but do it now. Okay, Samir just told me that in this paper there was there were two RC passages. One was from economists straight. I mean, so that's like just for your information that way. Okay. Okay, another one. What I need to read more, novels or newspapers? देखो मेरा एडवाइस इसमें सिंपल है. आई डोंट हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद पीपल हु रीड फिक्शन. But I would want you to utilize your reading for building your knowledge database as well. So when you read a lot of fiction, that adds a lot of stuff to you, but that would not help you in building your building your knowledge repository when it comes to general knowledge, or when it comes to facing the personality assessment stage of all these exams. So that's the reason why I advise mix it up. Fine. So if it's your leisure time reading, you can probably read anything, but if it's that study time reading wherein you are saying that I want to build my vocabulary, or I want to work hard on it, or it's that time that you count towards your study time, then go to slightly serious stuff, because fiction तो आप वैसे भी पढ़ोगे ही ना. Abhishek says again, CAT is equal to SBI. Should we prepare for CAT level? Yeah, there is no such definition of CAT level. If you ask me, CAT has also varied a lot. I mean, if you look at a CAT 99 paper vis-a-vis a CAT 2007 paper, vis-a-vis a CAT 2015 paper, they're like vastly different. So it keeps on experimenting. But the thing is that people actually expect it from CAT. So I'll say that now you have to start expecting the same thing from SBI and IBPS as well. That's the only difference. Otherwise, you ask me, nothing much has changed. It was there for you. I mean, if you did not see it coming, then probably I'll not blame you. But yes, now it's time to pull up your socks. An effective daily plan, I'll say mix it up. So a bit of puzzle solving, a bit of reading, a bit of quantitative aptitude, just mix it up. So don't do this. I keep saying this time and again. You do mathematics for the next 7 days, and then you probably go on doing reading by brute force. So no, don't do it. Mix it up. It'll be interesting for you, and it goes into your head slightly better than that brute force manner. Okay, another one, grammar में बताइए. आपको ग्रामर नहीं चाहिए. आई एम सेइंग इट अगैन, यू डोंट नीड ग्रामर. ऑल द ग्रामर क्वेश्चंस और सेंटेंस करेक्शन क्वेश्चंस दैट कम देयर can be handled if you are a good reader. It clicks to you whether this is good, whether this is not good. The error types are standard. You don't need to know grammar. I mean, because the thing is simple. If you want to do basic grammar, then it's okay, fine. But if you delve deep into grammar, it's a never ending thing. It'll never end. I mean, it'll engulf you completely. It'll drown you. It'll never end. You can never say I'm a master at the subject. So that's the reason. I'm average. Can I go for IBPS and CGL both? You can. I mean, if somebody is just preparing for these exams, I'll say take all the exams. Take a CGL, take a CPO and all, and take an IBPS, take a Bank of Baroda, take a Dena Bank, maximize your chances, guys. I mean, you don't know when you'll have a bad day. Fine. So some of you who were prepared just messed it up in the pre as well. So it happens. So just do everything. Okay, anything else? Acha, this one also I need to answer, wanted to answer. Do you have a plan of CAT courses? I'm not sure. CAT is something that we are, if you talk about Samir and I, CAT would be the first priority, but we are still not sure about CAT. The first priority remains IBPS. If things fall in place, probably not happening now, not in the next 2 months. Our focus is completely on that CGL program that we started. But CAT may happen, yes. Okay, grammar is like a 5-year plan. Samir has typed that, absolutely. Okay, Kostav, again a relevant question. He says, should we take mocks which are meant for CAT? No, Kostav will not advise that. Simple reason is that in mocks the structure should remain the same. I advise you to do CAT papers or CAT question banks for practicing the new type questions. That was an answer to the question, मैं कहाँ से पढ़ूँ? There are no good question banks. So if you want to experience that different kind of DI or that mixed DI and logic puzzles, then that's the source. I'm not saying take CAT mock tests. No, the mock tests should come in the manner in which IBPS advises the pattern that they come out with. So they will come out with a pattern. So take mock tests from any of these companies that give you that same pattern. Don't take CAT mock tests. Not going to help. Just the questions. Anything else you want to ask? Then Can I join CGL program now? It's been 10 sessions, guys. I mean, I don't know what to say now. If you're still very keen, you can just write to us at info@meritshine.com. We'll see what we can do with your details and everything. I do not want to discourage anybody, but if you did not think about it in the last 20 days, then I have a serious doubt on your intent. So that's the reason why I'll not encourage it. If you're still keen, you can just write to us. We'll look into it, what we can do about it. Okay, you are saying a short session on preparation strategy for SSC CGL. Okay, I'll think about it, what we can do about it on YouTube. It's very simple. How do I tell you this? We don't intend to do many more serious sessions on YouTube, live serious sessions on YouTube, because the experience is not that great. I mean, there is a lot of interference, there is a lot of people just barging in, spoiling the session, spoiling the mood, and we don't get optimal results. So that's the reason that YouTube would primarily see sessions like this, and personality assessment sessions and stuff, but we'll not be doing any maths and English on YouTube. If at all we do, there'll be all recorded sessions like that. Having said that, might happen, but not a serious plan like this one. No, we'll not do it again. कुछ और बताना है तो पूछिए, otherwise I'll just wind this up. No more agenda, no more nothing. But that thing remains the same. You have to come out of that SBI shocker. That's over. Believe me, that's over. That's not going to make a difference to your lives now. All of us make mistakes. My first CAT was a disaster. The first CAT I took was 13 years back. That's the only one that mattered to me. I took it many times after that. Did well almost every time. I just messed up my first CAT. It was a disaster. I mean, I made so many mistakes. That's a different story. We'll talk about it sometime later. But it was a disaster. I mean, it did not change the world for me. I'm still doing well. Chal raha hai na sab kuch. So it's not going to make a difference to you. When you look back at this stage, probably after 3 years, 5 years, you'll realize it's just a very small event. So it happens like that. Come out of it. Even if you mess this up, there's another thing waiting for you, a bigger thing probably. Fine. So just look forward to it. Don't sulk over it. Very simple. DI की book बता दो. I'm telling you time and again, pick DI sets from your previous CAT papers. It offers all the varieties. All the varieties means 90s would be very simple. 2000s would be a mix of reasoning with DI. It does all for you. You can pick up from there plus whatever sources you use. Quant को basic से कैसे start किया जाए? Go to our SBI PO playlist, day 11. That's the first one. Follow advice. After that, there'll be around 15 sessions, enough to see you through. Quant के लिए निश्चित से ना करना ठीक होगा, एकदम ठीक होगा. Just pick the right questions from there. I mean, don't get into algebra. I don't think that's going to come. RBI grade B, I'm not so sure. I mean, I'll be very honest here. We have not done a research on it. It's a slightly different kind of a paper. If you can do something about it, we'll definitely share that with you. अच्छा DI पे सिर्फ since I'm getting a lot of questions, I'm again telling you the kind of stuff that you're getting in all these exams. This is not DI. This is not puzzles. Puzzles for bank generally used to means arrangement puzzles. So they would still be there, fine. But now what you're getting is the CAT type questions. CAT type questions से मेरा मतलब होता है वो questions जिसमें they'll give you some numbers and they will mix it up with some kind of a puzzle kind of a situation. So it's number based puzzles. That's how it's going to be different. So it's a mix. CAT has already given you a lot of such questions. That's why I keep insisting on look at CAT papers from 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's in public domain. Look at these 5 papers. You would know what I'm talking about. Look at the LDI section there. You will know the kind of questions that I'm talking about. Get familiar with them. It might help you. Trigonometry and geometry, you would not need much, but still it appeared. We have not made it. We'll think about it. Okay. Look, we can probably do some sessions of that high level DI. I'm still not sure because I mean there's still a lot of time left, but we can probably do a few high level sessions for DI. I wanted to do it for SBI PO as well. You guys demotivated me on that. I mean आएगा नहीं, ये नहीं होता है, वो नहीं आता है, आप कुछ और ही करा रहे हो, आपको साइंटिस्ट बनाना है हमें, all that kind of stuff. So fine, so this would be it. Anything else you can always write to us. I don't have much to say here. Just reflect back on the exam, learn from it. There's a lot of stuff that you can actually learn from this experience. An exam should never bog you down. I mean, it can be absolutely anything in the paper. It does not define your destiny. The way you handle it does. If some people who I know can get 100+ in this, I'm not saying everybody can get 100, but you could have gotten 80 then, fine. If you're saying that I'm getting a 40, then you are to blame for it. There's nobody else. It was there. I told you in the prelims as well, if you remember, that they are giving you this new kind of patterns. Those number-based puzzles never used to be there. They started coming. What made you believe that it's a paper that's going to be similar to the last one? It was always going to happen. I don't know what the paper was like. If you can reproduce some questions for me, then I can probably think about taming the demons. But I still believe it was not that bad as you made it sound like, some of you at least. अच्छा हाँ ठीक है, this is an important question, somebody asked this. In SBI it's a group exercise that they have mentioned this time, and it is different from a group discussion. A group exercise can mean a group discussion as well, but there are multiple possibilities. So what I'll do is that Samir or I would probably do a couple of sessions on group exercise, and would give to you all possible scenarios that can happen in a group exercise. So a group discussion is one of them. I have already faced it myself in an MDI interview long back. So it was a group exercise, and I actually did not know what they wanted us to test on. Fine, so I can probably share the experience. Samir would obviously know something about it. We can share a group exercise with you. It's not much. My advice for you remains the same. Go through that playlist, the link for which is there in the session description. Do it for the next 4 or 5 days. Start working on it. It's a lot of homework there. Next week we'll do a session on your interview, specifically for SBI, and something on group exercise. Anything else, do it now, otherwise I'll just wind this up now. Pritam, I'll try making a DI, some DI on arithmetic, but it's it's still, I mean, that's to be done later. There's a lot of time left now. Let me see. I'll try. Yes, we have a plan for IBPS. Just rewind it. You will get to know about it. Fine. So this would be it. That was the agenda. I don't have anything much to say. Let me just kind of read this thing quickly, the comment, and just. Okay, this would be it. So I'll call it a day. One last question. Somebody said just qualifying marks would be enough to clear. No, just qualifying marks, it's going to be a tough road ahead. So people who are still getting a 90 or 100 stand a better chance of clearing the paper. Fine. So it's going to be tough for all of you. If there is anything else, you can just ping us on the Facebook group. You can join that. We'll keep we'll be active there. Still active there, and we'll keep doing stuff for you. For the next 1 month, it will be stuff mainly for SBI PO, and then let's see how we proceed on this. My advice for anybody preparing for IBPS, just go to that SBI PO playlist, iron out all the chinks from your armor. I mean, whatever was there, just work on this now. A lot of students said, आपके methods को adopt करने के लिए कम time था, अब बहुत सारा time है, अब कर लो, it's going to help you. Fine, don't give up, learn from your mistakes. These things happen. It's 10 exams in a year. You messed up one, doesn't matter. Life doesn't change. Believe me, you'll remember this when you look back at this after 3 years, when you'll be doing something else. कुछ फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. हो गया एक एग्जाम खराब हो गया, हो भी गया खराब तो कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. Just keep looking forward to this. A lot of good things are still going to happen for you. It's a comparative exam, guys. If 20 lakh people fill the form, just 2000 seats. So आप सोच सकते हो ना, 19 लाख कितना हो गया, 98,000 लोग, 19 lakh 98,000 people would be disappointed in the end. So ठीक है, you are one of them for this. कुछ नहीं होता, it'll be something else. Fine. So don't get disappointed. Do not flood that FB group with stupid mails. ये हो गया, वो हो गया, that Sherlock Holmes and Shakespeare. I don't want that. Please, I announce that there as well. If you want to post something there, post something positive. Otherwise, don't post it. Leave the group. Fine. So I'll call it a day. This would be it from our side for today. We'll meet again next week. Meanwhile, I expect you to do your homework on the interview preparation that we have put in the session description. Work on this. If there's any query, you can post in that thread as well. We try answering all the queries. If there's something else, you can join the FB group and put it there. If you want, you can mail to us, but they'll be slightly difficult to answer because of so many mails keep coming. So many mails keep coming there. But we are there with you for this next stage as well. Don't wait for 19. That's my only advice for this stage. Fine. So wish you guys all the very best. I'll take your leave now. Wish you all the very best for the next stage. I'll meet you again sometime next week. Fine. Keep working hard for this. If not for this, then for the next exam. Don't give it up. I mean, you don't have to. You are better than what you think you are. Fine. Thank you very much for your patience. I'll call it a day now. Thank you.